talk about health, what you and I need to be here, to be alive. Well, patient safety is a focus. It's the prerequisite for quality nursing care, and it is the focus of the capacity building workshop put together by the Nursing and Midwifery Council in collaboration with Focus Orthopedics Hospital to improve the services of inpatient nurses in the country's medical facilities. The one-day workshop scheduled for tomorrow, Friday, 27th September, targets all practicing nurses and midwives, student nurses, including nurses in administrative roles. The objective is to equip healthcare providers with the optimum skills required to ensure patient safety. I'm joined in the studio by Niteko Tego, who is the Accra Regional Officer of the Nursing and Midwifery Council, and Ralph Bokpa, who is a nurse supervisor at Focus Orthopedics Hospital as well. Well, you're welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, when you talk about safety in the hospital, I mean, is it your focus really is just for the relationship between the patient and a nurse, or does it go beyond that?
Safety goes beyond that. Safety looks at three elements of care: emotional safety, physical safety, and spiritual safety.
Oh wow! Emotional safety, physical, and spiritual safety in the hospital.
Yeah.
Spiritual safety.
A person is a whole.
Okay.
I mean, you are spirit, body, and mind,
Yeah.
and therefore we are looking at ensuring that you are safe with us when you are sick. You are safe when you are ill.
Okay.
You are safe spiritually, because you have your spiritual perspective, which might be different from mine.
Yeah.
How do I deal with you to ensure that you are at ease with yourself?
Oh, right. As far as your spiritual beliefs are concerned. Okay. Because I was going to say, I thought that the hospital and, you know, the relationship between health officials and patients are strictly scientific. So you don't bring spiritual.
So that is the misunderstanding people have. Health is a coming together, harmonious interaction between your body, your mind, and your spirit, because we are these three in one. And therefore, if anybody comes to you, you're not looking at, you should come to me with, let's say, malaria. I'm not looking at malaria per se. I'm looking at the emotional attachment you have with malaria. Fear of death is an emotional issue. Okay. And then, you know, death itself comes with some need to survive, which is a spiritual issue. So we think of these three elements in safety.
I see.
But I'm sure we are focused more for now on the physical safety.
Okay, on the physical safety. Yeah. So when my first question was actually to ask whether the workshop you're doing now is focused on the relationship between nurses and patients as far as safety, patient safety is concerned.
Okay, I would love to say that it's would have been open to all health workers. Okay. But because it's a nursing thing, we are only limiting it to nurses. And we look at safety from the nursing aspect because nurses spend majority of their time with patients at the bedside. It's mostly nurses. The other healthcare professionals spend some time with the patient, but it's not as much as you can compare with that of the nurses.
Nurse, okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, and that's why you're focusing on
nurses this time around.
At the end of the day, you say you're targeting nurses across the
board. Student nurses, partisan, those in administrative roles, yes.
So how are you sure that they're actually coming? Because I want to get into the details of what training you're going to give them and how it will help us as patients when we go to them. But how sure are we that they're all going to be there? Okay,
so we sent out flyers and letters to the various institutions, to schools, to hospitals, to some other facilities. And we've had quite some feedback from them. Some principals of certain schools have called in that they are coming, and some nurses also have called that they are coming. So we sent these flyers out and we got some response from them. But we wish a lot more people could also join.
Exactly what I'm going to go to, because if all the nurses should come, who will be in the hospitals taking care of us? So isn't there a plan to say, you know, spread it so that some people can come, some people can come later? Tell us, was there a plan?
Okay, so normally every year we do this twice in a year, so that if you miss the first session, normally around May, you wouldn't miss the second session. Yes.
So May and September.
September, yes.
Okay, so if you missed it in May,
September is there for you, yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know which of you would be able to.
Let me top up on this.
Please do.
At the Nursing and Midwifery Council, we have accredited various groups, including Focus, to organize training programs, what we call continuous professional development for nurses and midwives. And Focus is playing a lead role. So selected topics are chosen for targeted group of nurses. So it doesn't mean all nurses are going to leave the premises of care, but that those targeted will definitely report. And it's an evolving issue. Other groups will come on next month. So as time goes on, we target nursing groups and train them.
Okay, so let's, I don't know which of you is good to go on that one, but let's look at what kind of training. Give us a bit more of specifics as to the training that's going to be given to these nurses and how it will address our problems?
Well, let me take the lead that recently we were in Singapore, and it's a collective idea that nurses are the forerunners of care. And in any nation where nurses are not equipped adequately towards ensuring patient safety, we're doomed. And so the goal is to teach nurses the international patient safety goals, to give them the competences so as to attend to clients. That's the larger goal, but he would be specific on the specific goal of the program.
So let's get to the specific goals.
Okay, so basically there are 6 goals, Okay. I'll just touch on a few of them because of time.
Yes,
The goal 1 says identify patients correctly. What does it entail to identify patients correctly? You go to a hospital and sometimes a procedure is supposed to be performed on patient A, but it ends up on patient B. What happened?
Does that happen?
It happens worldwide, not only in Ghana, worldwide. Sometimes even surgeries, different procedures are done on a patient. I remember, was it somewhere last year or this year, in Kenya, heart surgery was done on a wrong patient.
Oh, wow.
It all comes with its identification. So what do we do to identify patients? We have what we call patient identifiers. And for what the Joint Commission states, international states, you can choose 2, you can choose 3 as a facility. Over in Focus, we use the name of the patient, the date of birth of the patient, and then the medical records number. You can have the same names, you can have the same date of birth because you are twins, but you cannot have the same medical records number.
Okay.
So this will differ. And you always have to confirm this before you carry out any procedure on a patient.
Some of the things that you
If I'm to give you medication, I brought you paracetamol. Okay, so your name is, let's say, Miss Efua Lamte. I have to hold you, check your ID. Please, your name, say Miss Efua Lamte, your date of birth, and then I confirm the M before I hand over the medication to you.
Okay.
So this is very important to minimize errors.
Yes. So these are some of the things that...
Yes, so that's the goal 1. The goal 2 talks about communication, improve effective communication. As a healthcare team, we should communicate. You know, it's not only nurses. We have doctors, we have physiotherapists, we have dietitians. Physio may come to the patient and say, okay, maybe for this patient, I don't want the patient to bear weight on the operated limb. But may not communicate that to the nurses on the ward or even to the physicians. So we are saying that there should be improved communication. When it is improved, the patient is safe. You don't put the patient at risk. Because if I don't tell you this patient should not bear weight on this limb, and you come and just mobilize, get the patient out of bed, start walking,
and
then complications. Okay. Yes. So if improve effective communication. For the 3rd one, we talk about what we call LASA, sound alike, look alike, sound alike. It's an acronym. So those are high-risk medications. You realize that when we go and even buy medications from a pharmacy shop, sometimes 2 different medications, but their boxes are the same. They look alike.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And
I thought rather 2 different boxes, but the...
No, 2 different medications, but the box looks alike. Okay. We have Lyrica as one of them. We have atropine and then Toradol.
What do they...
Yes, so Toradol is actually an analgesia. It's for pain.
Okay.
Atropine is used in emergencies. Maybe your pulse rate is coming down. I mean, we need to resuscitate you. So imagine somebody who is okay, needs a pain medication, and then you go and pick atropine and give to such a patient.
Because
what
the
are you going to do?
boxes are the same.
Thank you very much. What are you doing to the patients? So we look at distance. So you have to pay peculiar attention. We have some medications also that need 2 people to verify before you give it, like insulin. Insulin is a high-risk medication. If I should draw insulin, maybe 10 units, I need to give to another nurse to cross-check, or a doctor to cross-check, okay, this is actually 10 units of insulin before I give it to the patient. It's very important. So these are some of the issues that we'll be looking at tomorrow, how we can know the safety goals and how we can implement them. They are very, very important.
I see. That's 4 very important areas you've touched on, and I've been very well educated. So if this is the training you're going to have for nurses, I guess a very good thing. And that's also a place to come back to you. You wanted to say something, but when you say, well, after you've said that, I have a question for you.
One other goal that you'll be looking at is protecting patients from harm.
Okay.
You know, you have patients who have terminal conditions and they cannot help themselves. For example, stroke patients who are trying to be ambulant and they'll roll over. For example, a patient who is so apprehensive of the admission that they want to walk over with bed rails and they want to walk over, so they are protected from falls.
Okay.
That's another area you teach how to protect, how to monitor this was. So, and even protecting patients from harm includes how you tend the patient If a patient lies at a particular place for a long time, they can develop bed sores. So how the nurses will turn, this will be taught at the program.
Interesting. So the question I wanted to ask you is, as the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Ghana, how do you assess the performance of our nurses across the board? I mean, if you were to put a general percentage to it.
Every year, every nurse is made to update their knowledge, just as what is going to go on tomorrow. And when they update their knowledge, it is that update that would qualify them to renew their license to practice.
Oh, okay.
And so when they come to offices, we assess whether indeed they attended the workshop, whether indeed they have acquired the required competences.
So this is compulsory?
It is compulsory for every nurse, and every nurse is, if you don't have a license, you're practicing illegally. So once we are okay with the inherent content of what they've done, and we are sure that they've actually acquired the competencies, we go ahead to renew their licenses.
Interesting. This sounds really good to me, and I hope that our nurses will be able to benefit from this training, because, you know, I mean, I can't go to the hospital to seek redress for my problems and then come back home with a lot more problems. And yesterday we had a similar conversation here where I talked about my friend who was going to give birth, had a cesarean section, and she dies. Not because, I mean, she's gone through everything, you know, and it's not like there was any complication during the surgery. And so more and more, I think that the topic about safety when we get to our hospitals is really important. Let's run through the program for tomorrow, right? Let's run through the program for tomorrow, and then we wrap up.
Okay, so tomorrow the program starts at 8 a.m. at the JRNA conference room at Ukbonglo, 8 a.m. on the dot. If you want to be part of this program, you have to come with a fee of 120 Ghana cedis.
Why do people have to pay for it?
Okay, so they are.
I almost said, why is it for sale? Sorry.
Knowledge is expensive. Knowledge is expensive.
So they are resources. This is actually subsidized. Let me be very frank. It's actually subsidized.
By who? Government?
By Focus. Focus Hospital, yes.
Okay.
Because the main intent is to give out the knowledge that the staff or the nurses at Focus possess. So that's the main intent, to give out knowledge. So it's subsidized, 120 cedis. And when you come, you are entitled to snack, to lunch. The resource persons that are coming would also be given something small, just as they are TNT. You'll be having a certificate so that I can renew your PIN with it. Yes.
But well, isn't there a way, Midwifery Council, isn't there a way that maybe you can, because I can envisage people saying, oh, I mean, if it's free training, you know, we like free things. And I get it, but I can imagine people saying, but this is a very important training. Yes. But I can imagine people saying, oh, ne boy ding, like it's expensive, and then say they're not going to.
These are used to examine content of training programs before they attend, and I can speak on behalf of Focus that this one indeed is subsidized, looking at other programs. Number two, some of them will also be sponsored by their facilities. Okay. That is if they put in a request for the training. Okay. So the Ghana Health Service and Ministry of Health actually does subsidize and pay the fees of the attendees. Okay,
it's what, 120 cedis again. Yes. Okay, so you are going through the program. Let's wrap up on that one. Yes. So that's it. Tomorrow, 8 a.m.
Yes, that's it. And I would want to state that as many people who can attend this program should make it a point to be there.
Okay. Let me also chip in that the NMC will be part of it. Yes. Because we are
National Media Commission.
No. The Nursing Midwifery Council. Thank you. We're actually going digital in all of our works in online examination and online renewal of license. Okay. So want everyone to attend to have a feel of our introduction of digitalization of the Nursing Midwifery Council.
Is there a way for them to get this digitalization process online?
Instant.
So you just go online.
We're moving gradually. We've moved for peer renewal to a point where you have to attend to the office of the NMC directly, to where you can sit at home and request for renewal. Okay. Then gradually would come to a point where you can actually get your license online, where we haven't got into. Okay. But we've taken the first step.
So right now people can go on your website and get information?
They get the information, www.nmc.gov.gh.
www.nmc.gov.gh. If you're a nurse, you're a health practitioner, you want to get on that website and check out what the Nursing and Midwifery Council has. But they're inviting you to a very crucial training tomorrow at, what's the location again?
Ukbonglo, the JRNA hostel.
JRNA hostel.
Yes. Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association.
Okay, Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association hostel.
At Ukbonglo.
Please do make it there. Yes, I've been having this conversation 8 a.m. tomorrow. Yes, make it there. This is also linked to the renewal of your license. Raphael Bokpa is a senior registered nurse, Focus Orthopedic Hospital. They're organizing the training. And Ni Teko Tego is the Regional Officer, Nursing and Midwifery Council of Ghana. Thank you so much for coming. And God bless you for the training.
Thank you.
Hopefully, we'll go to hospital and get just what we went for, healing. Go back home quietly.